Hello, and welcome to Rose Plays, Season 10, Episode 13. As always, I'm your host, Aurian MoonRose, and today we go and continue on with the third episode into our series for the Achievement Perfectionist, delving into Child of Light. Now, here on the Achievement Perfectionist series, we take a game that's been played on Rose Play, where I've acquired all the achievements either before playing the game on the show, during, or after, and we talk about all the easy or difficult ways that the game is with the achievements. Now, the four categories that I go through are story, combat, playthrough, and collectible-based achievements. And within each subcategory, I talk a little bit about what each basis story has and what, playthrough might have, and what easy and hard achievements in each section is. Followed by the end, a final analysis, including the hardest and the easiest achievement for a game. And I even give a little statistics about how hard or easy and long that it took me to play and complete this game. So, with Child of Light on the table, I suppose we should go grab our good friend the Firefly and start flying through the realms, and start with none other than the story-based. So, we start with Child of Light with the story-based achievements. Now, there's only 27 achievements in this entire game, and half the bulk is just about put up with story by itself. I mean, I had to kind of cut some of them to work them into other areas. But, the story-based achievements, there are 12 achievements total. They range from playing the story, receiving celestial objects, which is kind of the whole point of the game. You're trying to recover the sun, the moon, and the stars. And having new party members joining. So with each party member, you also unlock yourself an achievement. So none of these are really difficult for me. They weren't. And for the most part, I mean, as long as you, if you get stuck, your best solution to fixing this issue is just to gain some levels. Because once you gain enough levels, this game goes by easy. So for me, I had to say that the easiest achievement was the Girl and the Firefly achievement, which was basically meet Iglesias. I don't know what the Firefly's name is pronounced, but that was the easy achievement because it's the first achievement in the game. You don't even have to gain levels for it. Or the enemies are pathetically easy. You just go from point A to point B, bam, achievement unlocked. So then what is the hardest achievement for a game where as long as you just level up, you're going to, get all the story-based achievements? That would have to be the Coronation, which was dethrone the Queen of the Night, which is basically the end game. You beat the main villain, you unlock the achievement. The reason why I considered this the hardest was it's the final story-based achievement, and really, like I said, everything can be solved just by gaining levels. That's it. Just gain levels. If a boss beats you, gain 3 levels. If an enemy beats you, go back, gain 3 levels. I mean, for me at least, it seems quite simple for the story-based achievements. And that's really all there is to Child of Light. So, next we will go into the combat-based achievements. And those ones sort of get a little bit more trickier. But I'll let the next version of me go ahead and explain that for you. So, now we enter into the combat-based achievements for Child of Light. And this is probably the hardest section of achievements. I mean, not really, but it can be at the same time. There's only 7 achievements for combat, at least what I would consider combat. And these range from battle-specific tasks, which might be like defeating 3 enemies at once, or defeating light-based monster or dark-based monsters, stuff like that. Gaining levels, which kind of self-explanatory, and improving with levels. So what I mean by improving with levels is simply the fact that you have skills that you can make. And one of the achievements in there is, as long as I hopefully put it into combat, was maxing out a skill tree arc. So, I mean, really, those are the bases of it. I mean, they're still not too difficult. The hardest ones are going to be the battle-specific tasks, as they range from a multitude of things, like I said, from not having Aurora in your party for one turn, to defeating a group of enemies without losing any health, just so on. I mean, most of those can be solved, though, with levels. Like some of these I didn't think I would unlock easily, but as I gained levels, I'd go back to other levels to complete tasks, playthrough-based tasks, which we'll get into in a moment. And when I fought those enemies again, it was just bam, wipe out, it's over. So, because of that, the easiest achievement, in my opinion, was Guardians of Lamura. And that was basically win a battle without Aurora. I mean, again, this is probably the easiest of the combat challenges, because once you get a good enough party or high enough levels, you can just go back to the beginning of the game, take Aurora out, and bam! There it is. Achievement unlocked. The hardest achievement is Showstopper, which is interrupt 3 foes at the same time. Now, like I said, there's some like this, but interrupting 3 foes at the same time, at least in my opinion, is kind of a daunting task. Now, obviously, it is plausible, because I ended up doing it without even trying later on when I got a high enough level. But what it wants you to do is, there's this bar going across the screen. And when you hit a certain point, whether it's you or the enemy, if the enemy attacks or you attack, it interrupts them. Now you got to do 3 enemies at once, which is all the enemies they usually give you on the screen. So that alone is challenging and taxing. So, first of all, the best way to do it is either to use a spell move or an attack move that attacks all of them at once. Now, trying to get them all to be in that bar, unfortunately, is kind of RNG and luck at the same time. But I'd say your best bet at trying to do it would be trying to use the Firefly and Glacius and freezing them for a few seconds till they're all kind of grouped together. That way when they go into the bar, you're ready. And while you're doing that, you wait for your fastest character who can attack all the moves, and then hopefully they beat him, and you kind of continue to slow them down a little bit with Glacius, and it should unlock. And really, that's the most difficult achievement for it. I mean, like I said, there's a few others, but I think, with levels and going back to previous areas, it'll kind of make fast work out of these. So, next, we'll head over to playthrough-based achievements. And, I mean, these could kind of be story-based a little bit. Some of them could have been combat, maybe. But, like I said, I had to make room, and I think 7 was the best rate to go for this. So, let's go ahead and head into playthrough and see how this worked with Child of Light. So, playthrough-based is just about on par with combat-based, with 7 achievements as well. But these still pale in comparison to the collectibles achievements, especially if you're keeping track of what achievement score we're up to out of 27. But that's in a moment. So, the achievements in the playthrough-based playthrough range from crafting Okalai or sending one to a friend. So, Okalai is these jewels. They start off very small, like as a sliver, and you can get them into a perfect diamond. And they help increase combat-based moves, speed for when you go, your attack power, magic power, so on and so forth. And you can craft these. So there's an achievement for that. It's just crafting it once, so it's really not too bad. Or sending one to friend. Well, that gets to be an issue, and I do have a side note when I get to the hardest achievement. But sending them to a friend only works if, of course, you've got a friend who owns the game. Also, then finding a few Stardust in treasure chests scattered throughout the game. So, there's Stardust. And Stardust increases your stats, like your strength, your magic, your HP, whatnot. And you can find them in a multitude of places. Sometimes they're just hovering around, sometimes they're in treasure boxes, and sometimes they're on bosses as well. Now, there's also treasure chests, which you have to collect so many treasure chests. And, I mean, there's plenty. There's more than enough treasure chests in the game to get, I believe, 30. But you do have to collect, 30 treasure chests. Also, completing side quests scattered throughout the game. So, of course, with any RPG, there's the main quest, there's side quests, and then there's off quests. The side quests are stuff like there's this one that's like a treasure hunt. You get something from somebody, and you gotta give it to somebody else, who then gives you something that you give to someone else, and so on and so forth. And then there's small ones like finding a pig. So I mean, there's plenty of side quests. I think there's like 5 or 6. There isn't many, but there's plenty enough throughout the game. So the easiest achievement would have to be, once I get there, the Master Oculist, which is craft Oakli, or Okulai. I don't actually know how it's pronounced. Like, my pronouncing of things really suck. But yeah, there's an achievement for just crafting one thing. I mean, you can just take 2 small jewels and just craft them together, and bam, achievement unlocked. I've been saying bam a lot, but really, a lot of these easiest achievements are as easy as they seem. So, the hardest achievement is Grassroots, which is finish 3 Lemurian requests. And the requests are basically the side quests. So instead of just completing a quest separately and unlocking its achievement, I decided to throw this together because of the fact that there is 3 quests you have to complete to get said achievement. Now, there is a side note. If this is not the hardest achievement, it is sending an Okulai to a friend. And I didn't mark down what that's called, but it's not a hidden achievement as far as I remember. So it's quite simple to find. But the reason why I say this could be hard was if you don't have any friends that play Child of Light. Child of Light is a game that your friends probably don't own. Maybe. I could be wrong. But this could potentially be a life-ending achievement, because if you can't acquire it, you can't finish the game. And if you can't finish the game, then you can't perfect it. But that's the side note on that. Now, I don't even know why I'm going to make another section out of this, but we're going to move into the collectible-based achievement. Yeah, we're saying achievement. We're not even saying achievements. We're going to go ahead and go into that one next, before we go into the final analysis and what I personally achieved. So this next one's a joke. So in the collectible-based achievements, there's one. Uno! No more! And that is the Perfect Sonnet, which basically is just collecting 30, I believe it's 30, I don't know for 100% sure, but 30 pieces of paper that's flying around the map, usually up high towards the end of them, and they're confessions. Some of them don't even make sense. So the achievements range from collecting these. But before I go into the easiest and hardest achievement, which will be an interesting one, first off, I would like to say that there is Ubisoft Play or something like that. Ubisoft does this neat little thing where when you play one of their games, you can unlock certain coins for their games, I guess, and also gain levels from doing it. And the more you get, the more you can unlock within the game. And for the Sonnet, there is a collectible-based thing that you can choose that lets you know where all the pages are. It doesn't tell you where the pages are, but it lets you know where they all are within certain areas, which is a nice thing. So I definitely recommend that if you're going to play this game, that if you're going to want to complete it 100%, that you probably, the first thing you get through the Ubisoft Fun Store, I guess I'll call it, is the ability to know where all the pages are. That way you know when you've collected them all and can move on. Now, the easiest achievement is technically none. No. The easiest achievement would be, of course, the Perfect Sonnet. Why is it the easiest? Because it's the only achievement we have for it. Not just that, but it's also the easiest because of the fact that through Ubisoft, you can gather that one thing that allows you to see where all of them are, per se. So it makes it the easiest. But on the same spectrum, the hardest achievement is Perfect Sonnet. No! I never expected it to be that! That seems like it's the easiest! Yeah, right. But the reason why this could also be the hardest achievement is mostly due to the fact that, let's face it, if you don't go and do the Ubisoft thing, It might be a little hard to find. I mean, granted, you could probably find it just searching the whole map. Some of the maps are huge, though, but collectibles are always hard, so this is going to, of course, be the hardest achievement as well. So, next, I will give my final statistics and my final thoughts on Child of Light, plus give you the easiest and the hardest achievement that you can acquire within this game in general. Alright, so as we enter final statistics, there's a few things we have to talk about first. First of all, the feel of the achievements in general. And for the achievements are pretty much very straightforward and can be accomplished anytime before the end of the game or continued even in New Game Plus. So yes, once you beat the game, you can do a New Game Plus, come back with all your stats, all your attributes, but for the most part, other than maybe the battle ones, you really don't have a need. You get most of them no problem. So, that brings us into each achievement based and what their difficulty ranks are separate by themselves first, starting with the story based. The story based achievements, I'm going to give a 2 out of 10 just because I guess it can get a little difficult towards the end. But again, just grind and you should be good. For combat based, I'm going to give it a... Well, I mean, I still had no problems with this, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. So not too bad. Let's see, what else do we have there, Shunny? Hello, Shunny, I'm not done with you. The playthrough based, a 3 out of 10. Because, I mean, the side no, we'll go 4 out of 10, because they are a little hard to find sometimes. For the most part, at least the ones that are based on the quests. And then finally, the collectible-based one, I'm going to give it a 2 type score. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10 if you're using the Ubisoft thing and buying whatever to get the ability to use it. And then I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 because exploring the whole map can get tedious and very repetitive. So, then, with all this said, what is, altogether in a broad basis, the easiest achievement in the entire game and the hardest achievement in the entire game? For the easiest, again, that would have to be the Girl and the Firefly, which was Meet Iglius. That's what I'm going with for a name. Because, like I said, I don't remember if you have to do battles right at the beginning, because it's been a while since I played it now, but honestly, you just, even if it is battles, it's very lighthearted, and I mean, even if you're just trying out the game till the first achievement, this one's pretty nice and just right out there. So, the hardest achievement has to be the Perfect Sonnet, which is collect all confessions. And like I've said, here's the thing when it comes to the confessions. They're either the easiest or the hardest, depending on if you use Ubisoft's help by unlocking the ability to use it with the achievements, or if you have points from other Ubisoft games, you can just be like, sonnets, instantly. Whoa! But honestly, if it isn't the Perfect Sonnet, it would have to be probably the online one, because, like I said, it's going to be a harder game to find people with. So, now we get to go to the part that everybody always waits for, was my final statistics of when I played Child of Light. How long did it take me to beat it the first time? How long did it take me to perfect it? How much time was put into the show? And a few stats bought it. So, once I get there, the final statistics were 1,000 of 1,000 gamer score acquired. 27 out of all 27 achievements unlocked. It took me 2 days, 13 hours, and 7 minutes to fully complete this. That includes my very first playthrough, my achievement playthrough, and the show playthrough. And being that it's an RPG, it's understandable that this is going to be a long game. There were 1,097 battles won. I acquired 447 skills. I found 16 letters, so maybe there was only 16 sonnets. That's what I'm assuming now. And 603 coffers or treasures that were opened. And that'll do it for this third episode of the Achievement Perfectionist. So, next time, give me a sec. I don't know what game will be next for the Achievement Perfectionist, so let's find that out right now. So, I think it's Tomb Raider. But here's the problem with Tomb Raider. I never did complete it 1000% because of online achievements. So, if this is true, alright, so, Season 4 is Tomb Raider. But, if I do the Tomb Raider Achievement Perfectionist episode, I will be doing it for single player only. If I don't do Tomb Raider because I didn't 100% it, which is probably what I'll do, the next game I will be going to will be The Walking Dead Season 1. And if you thought this was a shorter Achievement Perfectionist episode, woo-wee, just wait until we do Season 1 of The Walking Dead. oh boy. But we'll go ahead and leave it there for the time. Come back next episode of Season 10, Episode 14, the season finale, and hybrid review of the Lego Movie video game. What do I mean by hybrid? Well, Saul Wildfire will be joining us for the season finale, just because, she was there along for the ride, but we will also be doing the review of not only the video game version, but we will also be doing a movie review of the Lego Movie. Ooh, that ought to be my longest special episode ever. So, until next time, remember, keep gaming, never give up, and you know what? One achievement for collectibles, I can deal with that.